ahead.
What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy, Varni. I'm not the host of today's podcast, that's Dan, but I am here.
He stole my intro. Like, I was literally ready to talk, and he just wants to jump in and act like he's been doing this for the last 2 years, which you haven't.
I don't know what to tell you. It may have been 10 months since my last appearance, but you know, like we come back, and I looked it up. It's been about 10 months since my last appearance. September 24th, really? When we recorded Lance's winning, right after he won Nationals. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Varni, I don't think people are gonna know who you are. So, as the special guest, why don't you introduce yourself? On the
we gotta introduce everybody. Before we do, we gotta introduce everybody. We gotta introduce everybody, not just this guy, Varni, whoever this guy is, right?
This guy.
You got Gino to my left, probably, and you got Lewis to the top left corner. How y'all doing? With our special guest, Varni.
Doing pretty good. It's a great, gloomy, rainy day here in New York.
We love a gloomy, rainy day.
True that. We had rain this morning. Now we're good. So
yeah.
Now we have our special guest for today. Varni, introduce yourself to the people who may or may not know who you are, sir.
Hi, guys. My name is Varni. I'm the creator of Sleeves, which you may or may not have.
Oh no, not the shameless plug. Not now.
You know he was going to do it
already. We let you plug at the end. You plug at the end.
No. We plug at the start now. In the middle.
You guys may not know me. I don't play games anymore. I just sit in a cave, hammer away at a keyboard, call it a day. Don't look at the games in the back. I don't play anything right now. I wish I could say that I do. I don't get out enough. I play Digimon casually. Never thought I'd hear the day where I say that. I'm a casual. What are we? Casual Jimmy? A casual Johnny?
Ew.
I'm adding those casual
Carl. Not a casual Carl, man.
I'm adding Jimmy to the not words we're combining with anything else.
Why? What? You don't like jimmies? You want to tickle your jimmies, Lewis?
No. My jimmies are already ruffled. I'm done with this conversation.
Gino, this is why we kicked him off the first place. You gotta do crazy nonsense for no reason.
Listen, it could have been worse, right? I could have been like Mike, and I could have just been like, "Oh yeah, rub before you tap it."
Oh man, I don't remember that clown.
Classic.
I can't.
Yo. Oh my God. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, this has been the 4th of July weekend. This is the day after of the weekend. I personally had the worst fucking 4th of July ever. So who Lewis and Gino mentioned, we've been having a bunch of rain. Not just that, and at least East Stroudsburg side of PA, like Northeast PA, we've had rain, but it was like mini hurricanes in this shit. I literally drove through this and almost died like 5 times. And we lost power Friday. I didn't get power till Monday, so I had the worst 4th of July weekend ever in my life, and it was great. It was fantastic having no power and 90-degree plus weather. It was like 100 degrees at some times, so no AC, no fan, no nothing. It was crazy. We had so many trees down, so many power lines down. It was crazy.
Dan tried to trap me up there too. He's like, "Yo, you got any plans? You want to come through?" He was about to trap me up there.
That's a lie. I didn't. Look, I was doing a favor for Jarrell. He was like, "Yo, ask Dina if he wants to come through on Saturday." Varni went, so it couldn't have been that bad from that side.
Oh yeah, Varni's alive. All right, guess
I left early though. Like relatively speaking, I left at a good time because we had to stop to get gas, so we were on the way home, and right when like I don't remember where it was that I hit. Oh, we were all of like 10 minutes from home, and it just fucking whoosh, like everybody came to not like an immediate stop, like unsafe, just like everything slowed down immediately and everybody threw on their hazard lights because this wasn't
it wasn't working.
Shit.
It was nothing doing. No. Look, so when I was about to leave, like quick story time of what happened, how I drove in this, I was like, when Jarrell hit you up with like, "Yo, where the pod at?" I left like probably like 10 minutes after that. I stopped at my house real quick 5 minutes because I forgot to give actual shoes because I was at my aunt's. My aunt lives down the road. She lives 2 minutes down the street. She has power while I don't have power. Crazy. And so because they always host a 4th of July barbecue first, so I went over there. Yada yada yada. I go back to my house. I'm glad I did when I did because I get there, I get my shoes, I leave. I'm like, yo, the sky changed to yellow. I know shit's about to go bad. I know that things are gonna go terrible. I get to the Wawa by me, and all of a sudden, the wind starts getting like crazy. The rain starts pouring, and then the light went out. I was like, oh
no, not at the Wawa.
We're cooked. The lights just went out on the red light, the green light, and then I turn to the Wawa. I turn back around. I left at the most perfect time because as I get back, there's a tree down on top of a power pole broke in half. It was like hanging off. Some cars like stopped and pulled over, and my car was small enough where I can go straight underneath the wire that was hanging. There was another tree that was down. Oh my God, it was immediately bad. Within like that 5-10 minutes, it was like I couldn't see anything. Like you mentioned with the windshield wipers, saw nothing. It was crazy. Like I don't know how I made it home, but I'm glad I did. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere, I guess. Like,
yeah,
it was so bad. It was so bad. And then like come to find out, like I saw pictures afterwards of like other spots and like by where I am, like back rows were cooked. Like so many trees down and the poles were down and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was crazy times.
Sky turns yellow. You're done, fellow.
Yeah.
Bro, it literally was like you look forward and it was like blue clear skies for us, but when you look backward, it looked like fucking hell. I was like, what the fuck? And you could feel it like on your ass, right? You're like, I fucking know it's coming. Yeah, no, I hate driving in that weather. I did that like once when I used to commute to Philly. I was on my way back. It came down so hard on the turnpike of all places. This is when the turnpike was just 2 lanes. And it was like, we all just pulled over. It was like very slow driving or pulling over because it wasn't fucking seeing shit.
I mean, I've driven in bad rain, which I don't have an issue with, but it was the bad rain plus the wind. The wind was so strong that like I felt it move my car while driving.
I was feeling it in the van.
I thought I was driving in a lake on the roads. That's how high the water got immediately within like 5-10 minutes. It was so crazy.
It was a straight downpour. It wasn't like, it progressively. No, it was just like fucking dumping buckets of water.
I told you it was like mini hurricane because that wasn't the only time it was that bad. It was like spurts like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, we had a couple of those Saturday. This week.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Or last week, but yeah, 4th of July.
Did you guys get any trees falling in your area, like severely to the point where you couldn't get out of your own driveway?
No.
Well, you guys got lucky. You guys got lucky because right by the highway going to my apartment, there is a really short, supposed 2-lane road where on both sides people are able to park. So you have everybody's vans on the right-hand side of the road, and on the left you have everybody like sort of like branching outward towards the main street. And literally 2 branches straight down from one side of the road just took up the whole part of it. And I'm like, I think I could drive through that. And then as I was pulling up towards it to like literally drive my car through it, putting more damage on it, the cops came and they were like, we're going to chop this down. Just give us a couple of minutes. I was like, okay, great. I get to my actual apartment, and then right in front of the driveway, lo and behold, a whole ass branch on the fucking driveway. So what do I have to do?
Do you mean like a
I would just like to say, yeah, I would like to say
a branch. I don't care about a branch.
Motherfucker, a branch sounds like this, okay? Like exactly. I expect when I hear a branch, like you can pick it up with your hand. You know, I think what you're describing is like
a log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's log-like, but it's basically really, I hate this word. It's really thick branches.
Oh, it's girthy.
It's a girthy branch. It was a girthy branch that could be mistaken for a small tree. Because we have really old ass large trees here.
If you had to estimate its girth size, what would you say?
Probably a little bit bigger than your torso.
That's pretty.
That's more than a branch.
Yeah.
That's more than a branch, dog. That's a tree.
I say it's a branch because the tree is still there. All the trees are still here.
My giant tree that's in front of my house has branches that come off are their own trees. All right, like it's a whole ass tree,
thing.
dog.
It's the same thing. So it's the girthy branch trees essentially. That's what I've been dealing with for the last 2 days.
Yeah. Good thing I left when I did leave because I was able to get around all that because the traffic wasn't as bad. So like people were stopping, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go all the way on the right lane and pass the yellow line into the grass to get around and get home. I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking with this. I'm trying to get home, and like,
no.
And that was all like that's all like within like y'all been to my house like except Lewis, like that's like where the wall was. If you remember, that's like about like 6 minutes to my house. It's not. That's how far it is, and it was like a disaster zone.
Oh no.
You gotta get yourself a truck, Dan. Get yourself a Jeep. Just, drive over it because that's what the Jeep guys do.
If I had a Jeep, I wouldn't have been able to get home because the power line was that low, and people were pulling over that had higher vehicles.
Yeah. Jeep man, Jeep bros. You gotta be a Jeep bro.
Gotta get an SUV.
My mom has a Jeep. I'm all right.
Or a Subaru. I heard Subarus are really solid cars.
Maybe an orange Subaru Crosstrek.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a solid car. Sounds like a solid car. I also heard retains its value really well.
Oh,
I do love my
Subaru. If you hear us, sponsor us.
I'm never stuck anywhere.
Ain't no one
stuck anywhere.
Hey, listen, you never know. I was watching Drewski. That man was friggin' sponsored by what was it? Buffalo Wild Wings. This man's eating Buffalo Wild Wings every episode.
That's different, though.
That ain't different. I'm like, bro, with what they was doing on that show, I'm like, I know Buffalo Wild Wings want to be known for this type of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Millions of views versus, hundreds and thousands,
Hey, you never know. Every Subaru, every card game player's got to get to the card shop. What better way than buy an orange Subaru Crosstrek, who somebody here may own and can speak to how good it is? Am I right, Gino?
True.
You're right, man. Listen, I've got my all-wheel drive. Okay, I'm never stuck anywhere. It's reliable. Like, what more could you ask for? Listen,
that's right, Subaru.
We need more sponsors. Listen, I saw a guy, he got McDelivery. He just midstream. He's like, oh, McDelivery time. Boom, got the bag. Like, come on. That's what we need.
We need more shameless product placement. That's what we need. We need more things to be shown on our screens right now.
Just like have our water bottles just chilling here.
Yeah.
Listen, Samsung, everybody needs a phone,
Google,
Yeah, I can't game without my 8-bit dough. You need a right on the go? Go get a boogie board. No jimmies.
No jimmies?
God, that's funny. No jimmies. That's
no jimmies.
Oh man, we're ready like a bit this pod. We had to talk about locals. Does anyone have any locals to talk about? Because I sure has don't.
The storm was so bad that nobody went to Sunday locals last Sunday. There was just the guy who works there, me, and one other guy who lives like real close. So obviously our tournament didn't fire, but I went because it was the release weekend for EX13, Shambhala. So I got my Shambhala stuff, got all the cards I need to build SW, been having fun with that. But beyond that, no locals to talk about, and no locals for me next week because I will be on vacation. It is my yearly vacation. So
nice.
Ooh, where are you going this year?
No, where are we
Same
going?
place I go every year. Disney World.
Okay.
Me, the wife, the in-laws. We always go to Disney.
Are you taking me to Disney World, Gino? I'll fit in your suitcase.
That's a pretty big ass suitcase.
Damn, he had
it's only a couple hundred pounds.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, I'm girthy, right?
Yo, we call
that's what Lewis said. Indirectly, he said I'm girthy.
Nah, it's a blast. It's a blast. If you've never been there as an adult, Disney's better as an adult than when you were a kid.
I'm sure it is.
Because we can afford things now.
That's when I went the first time. So much better when you're an adult.
That's good. Lewis, how about you? You got 5 million locals to talk about.
I actually didn't do any locals this past weekend because I'm actually prepping for Virginia for One Piece because I got shanghaied by my friends to go. And I like driving, so it's a pretty nice little road trip. It's going to be basically another hour from where we stayed in Virginia Beach. It's more inland. So I'm wondering how that's going to turn out. But this past Sunday, my locals had 12 people. They gave me the rundown. It was a lot of weirdness there. So first place
if
was
you didn't play, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, I just
I didn't want to be mean. I wasn't gonna say that,
fine.
You know,
I was there in spirit. And the spirit was Bear Bros apparently putting all those EX12 decks on watch right now.
Yo, okay. So from the uneducated Digimon player standpoint that I am, the casual Carl.
Okay, we'll go with that one for now.
Talisman is nasty as fuck.
Ooh, random. Okay.
Yeah,
Talisman's nice.
It has everything.
No, not nice. Nasty. There's a difference. Nice. When I hear nice, right, I think about something like, I don't know, Volcanus. Nah, Talisman is disrespectful. Okay. The amount of decks that I'm like, I think I should just throw like 1 or 2 Talismans in here. Like, that. Talisman's a personal favorite of mine. Marsmon is also nasty, but
TS slot poster boys right there.
Right. If you're saying like if you just generically could throw in Callus, then yeah, you probably can and should. But Volk is probably better. But Volk is only for
Of course. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like, for example, I played Gino's Bloom Sarah's Bacchus list one week, and I liked it enough. And then I went and I played tested it on Sim. I got my ass kicked and I was like, all right, time to make some changes. And I was like, damn, what do I want to put in here? And then I looked at Callus and I was like, I could just throw a couple Calluses in here and just be an asshole.
Callus has been thrown around so much that even people like Lewis, who are Beelstar players, throw Callus into it.
Hell yeah!
I haven't put a Beelstar. I haven't put the Callus nonsense in my Beelstar list. I say I want to do the thing. I'm gonna do the thing. I want to draw all those things that say 3 Musketeers or Rune Mode. That's all I care about.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, no, that was the top in list that had like 3 Calluses. I was like, that's a lot.
A BL-Star list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's 4 BL-Star,
kind of
3 Callus, and then 2 BL-Star X's, I think it was.
BLX.
I was like, damn, that seems quite a bit.
I mean, they probably just want to make sure that Talisman always has Fortitude live, only because, things like Scopemon can just shove a freaking option underneath it and be like, I'm going to gain a memory, and this guy's got Fortitude right now.
That's nasty.
Ooh, that's valid. You can
but
get
if you
Fortitude pretty easily, consistently.
Yeah, but if you de-evo that thing, I think it's going to become an option. It's just going to go, like it's going to do nothing.
For sure, yeah.
So there's a pros and cons of playing the Talisman, but I just think that BL-Star's plan should always try to do more of the OTK. The control variance of it is pretty good, but against BL-Star, you kind of lose against another BL-Star mirror match. If you're playing Callus, you're probably like in the lesser end of that matchup.
So, Lewis, what I heard, you said that they should focus on playing the OTK. So what I heard was that Binding Red Trigger needs to be banned.
Binding Red Trigger is a problem. The very few decks in this game that can abuse cards that just have 0 interaction with is a huge problem for games like Digimon, where you just...
Nah, bro, that's...
listen,
that's rage bait.
No, it's not rage bait. But
hey, the comments said it, not me.
I mean, you know what? I want to hear. Give me the name of somebody who said it was rage bait, huh?
Wild rage bait? I don't know. That's crazy at Brandon H-L1K.
Man, that sounds like someone who got red binded trigger like 6 times.
Someone is red binded triggered right now.
Or he was the one that's doing that, bind triggering people.
Yeah, he's like, don't ban it. I want to keep using it. Like, I'll use it.
The interesting one was having BL-Star X being banned instead of the Bond Red Trigger.
I can understand the logic, the recursion, right? It's the purple problem, the fucking recursion. But realistically, Bind Red Trigger should have never been printed in the first place. I could have told you from the time that card came out, like, how would you not, like, how can you not abuse this fucking card, right?
But the problem is with that card is, right, back then, Three Musketeers ain't shit. Like it was way
I
slower
agree
with
with
that.
you.
So like you were doing maybe 2 to 3 checks with including that one trash. So it didn't feel that oppressive. The problem is when you have something like the dual card Beelstar that's able to tuck it whenever, reuse it basically whenever. She also has an unsuspended in it, so you get 2 checks out of it. And then you have Beelstar X
question.
that's also trashing as much as possible as well. So it's always reusing it.
Does current muskets play what's it called? Kidmon and
no, they can play.
So
they can play the EX.
So
they can play EX Gundramon.
Let me stop you.
Is the one that the second one you'll see once in a while. You see the Gundramon.
So let me stop you right there. This is the exact fucking problem that original Musketeers had. It's a fucking Beelstar deck, and it pisses me off because when original Muskets came out, I was so hyped to play this deck, and I did, and then it became Beelstar 7-cost option deck because it made no sense to play anything else. You were worse off for playing Avenge Kid, Magna Kid, and fucking Gundramon. So they brought out this new iteration of the deck, which was so much fun to play, horribly supported, but so much fun to play. And it has once again become Beelstar the fucking deck, but worse because it's Beelstar X and fucking dual card Beelstar. Why would you play anything else? And the fact that you would consider to play Callus over Gundramon or any of the other Musketeers, because I forget their fucking names, the 2 Kidmons, Avenge.
Varni, it's because there's time strangers. It's because there's time strangers in the name. That's the real reason why.
I don't give a it's my problem with Bandai design, man.
Listen,
it's
if they
so aggravating.
There is a Gundramon dual card. There's a Gundramon dual card coming. That's kind of crazy too.
Yeah,
so
that will be nice.
You'll definitely see that being used in the future.
But this is the problem. Beelstar, the recursion mechanic, it's purple, and Digimon doesn't limit anything to once per game, once per turn.
Hard once per turn is what we need in the game.
Hard once per turn. This effect can only happen once on this turn.
Wow.
Do you know how many problems in this game that would fix?
Well, it wouldn't be this effect can be used once per turn. But you think like the name of the Digimon,
card, right.
Like this card, this specific named card can only be used once per turn.
The effect of this card, however it would be phrased in Bandai's broken English ass way, yes.
Oh God, not the broken ass English.
They're gonna write it and then it's gonna come out with an errata because they realized they should have phrased it differently and yada 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 because apparently
Sometimes
they don't hire anybody. I'm sorry, I didn't come on this podcast to trash Bandai, but I low-key did.
I mean, you did a pretty good job so far.
There's that Bandai rep who like watches every pod and he's got like a point system. He's like, all right, they're getting closer. They're getting closer.
We were doing so
kicked Mike off, so that was a good start. Varney's gone. All right, things are looking good. These guys are both like they're into the game. They're saying good things, and now Varney's back on. Like, oh, scribble that off.
We were at the plus minus of 10, and now we just went back down to -0. Because Varney came back on for his pod.
We broke the number scale because of Varney.
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
So sorry. I'm not really. If you guys ever had to worry about a sponsorship tainting our takes, it fucking won't. Except sleeved. Sleeved is the best sponsor that you could ever have.
What's sleeved, Varney?
Varney.
What's sleeved?
Wait a second. Sleeves sponsoring us? Where's the money?
Sleeved. Sleeved.
Yeah, now we feel sleeveless. So.
You know what? I should have named it Sleepless instead of Sleeved.
Nah, Sleeved is good. Sleeved is good.
That's for the next website.
Don't forget the sleeved.gg.
Sleeved.gg, they're right. You know what? I'm going to buy the sleeveless domain anyways. I don't know what I'll use it for, but no.
Sleeveless shirts.
That would have been fantastic,
just sell
Chino.
Sleeveless things,
Oh no. It's sleeveless sleeves. So they're just the 2 separated pieces. So you have the color and then you have the plastic thing on top. You have to make your own sleeves.
I'll even give you you can just knit it together. I hope your fucking thread is like super thin.
And you don't stab
yourself. It's like a model kit, except it's a sleeve kit. Get your own sleeve kit. You can build 50 sleeves with this sleeve kit.
Oh gosh.
You gotta like iron them on. Like
Ooh, that's a pretty good business idea.
Yo,
Coming soon to a LGS near you.
Torture.
Hey, yo, comment section. If you could have your build your own sleeves, would you do it?
Right, we could probably answer that right here and just say no.
I can tell you, I would not.
You never know.
Gino,
I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? Dude, I don't even want to sleeve my cards in the first place. I just do it because I don't want to damage them. Like, just want to move on with my life and play the card game.
You don't want to raw slam your cards on the table?
Oh, it's a fact.
Gino's not a fan of raw dogging, you know?
No.
I'm not, man. Listen, protection is important.
That's facts.
Sleeve.gg.
Protection is important. Sleeve.gg.
Yo, we got our new slogan. We got sleeve new Logan. The new slogan for sleeve right there, yeah.
Oh boy.
Varni, get on making some sleeves for sleeve.gg.
No, you 100% right. You know, when Dragon Shield hosts their next 20% off sale, you know, best bet. Best bet.
It's just gonna be black with sleeve.gg. That's it, right in the back.
Nah, we gonna do some wild shit, you know?
Oh god.
Wink, wink.
What's wild shit?
I don't know.
It's all of us sleeveless.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. It's gonna be everybody.
Hit us up now. We need a sleeved waifu. We need a sleeved waifu.
Yeah.
You know what? Realistically, I should do that. I should put a mascot on the website. Yeah.
Remember like the old
not you,
Wikiton
not you, Varni.
And like the Google waifu and all that stuff. That's what you need for sleeves.
The Google
Nah,
waifu.
Gino's right.
That's crazy.
We need a sleeved waifu. And I know exactly who to hit up.
Sleeve.gg.
Just look at our repertoire of artists that we've commissioned in the past, and it'll tell you all you need to know.
I got you.
They've done SFW art for us, but yes.
Oh, I'm glad you said for us and not of us, because this would have led to a whole other conversation, Varni. Oh no, Gino, no spit take, Gino.
You almost got it too. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's
welcome
crazy.
to your favorite Safe for Work podcast, DigiGuard United. Remember, Patreons get DigiGuard After Dark.
You know what? That'd be a fucking series.
And then you get some real red bind trigger. And Dan's dead.
My god, I can't.
Dan, please segue us onto something else.
I'm trying to get.
I'm waiting for the segue. You know, I'm not the host.
I can't.
I mean, before we got here, like we were talking about broken cards.
I know broken things in Digimon, right? And so
this card right here.
Listen,
this card right here.
We need either that being said or speaking of. Come on, Dan, get us there.
I'm trying. Shut up. I'm trying.
No, I got you guys right here. Speaking of waifus, this card right here, Asuna. This is a pretty good card.
Listen.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Speaking of broken things.
That's not my Asuna. Hashtag Yuki Asuna for life.
Okay. But this is
why I can't segue, because then Varni is going to knock us off anyways.
I mean, unlike that Asuna, does that Asuna allow you to Evo for reduced cost to 1 from your hand or trash for anything in Three Musketeer in text or a TS card? Like, we were talking about splashing Callus into decks. Like, this card is just slapping decks together. And
slapping
just
what together?
All the other thing, slapping these decks together.
Whoa, slapping what?
Decks together.
Yuki Asuna does not approve.
Yeah, this was
wrong card game.
Bandai.
Who is that?
Wrong Bandai card game.
Oh,
it's a Bandai card game. Don't come at me.
I said wrong.
All right, Varni, shut up real quick. So, as Lewis was trying to get us to,
I tried. I really did.
Oh my god, broken things in Digimon, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of comments, a lot of words to talk about the game. Game is too fast. Game is this. Game is that. I think everything is too broken, or maybe not everything is broken enough, or whatever, right? What are some mechanics y'all think that are maybe too broken in the game, or even like decks in general, or like whatever? And how can we get there? How can we fix it eventually? You know, because we want to get it to the point of fixing the game, but we got to start with the problems first. Gino, go ahead.
Okay, Gino's going first? Okay.
Yeah.
DNA was a mistake.
Thank you!
God damn, you took my idea first. I thought you were going to say something different.
It's the biggest problem in Digimon, right? Like,
it always has been!
And always has been. It's always, oops, I get all of these inherits back. Oops, I have rush. I can attack. Rush. I can just do whatever I want. Like,
why do they have rush? I'm sorry, Gene. I'm just providing the backup commentary.
No, man, you're right. You're so right. DNA is a problem and has been a problem forever. Like, sure, in the beginning, it was like, ooh, this is how we make DNA decks strong, right? Because they need an additional piece, right? So it makes sense that they need to have some sort of benefit. But now when decks are like, oops, I trashed my security, so now I get to play another 4 for free, or oops, I have a tamer that lets me play both of my pieces for free, or like, it's getting to be a little much, fellas. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that, especially lower level DNA. So what I mean by that is level 5 DNAs in the game are crazy. I would say like, people are going to be like, he had a Millennium Mom players talking about level 7s. Level 7 DNAs don't feel as crazy per se, in the sense of you kind of have to work a lot more to get double 6s on board to DNA into level 7, right? You get your double War Greymon / Metal Garurumon, not double, but one of each, and then you DNA there, and then you pop off. Obviously, nowadays they made it more efficient, so it's not as bad, but like, it doesn't feel as bad. It feels like it's supposed to like pop off like it's a fucking level 7, right? Or Millennium, it's a level 7. It should do its thing. But when you have Shakumon, that's just like, all right, cool. We're gonna trash the security. We're gonna play a body out. We're gonna do this, do that. We're gonna also digivolve into Minervamon, play another body out. Guess where we're gonna DNA again because it's all free anyways. I played a free level 4. I played another free level 4. I DNA into level 5 for free. Trash your security again. I get another swing because it's rushed for no reason. And then you keep going in this cycle, right? Hudimon was another example of, Shaq being a problem, right? You go Hudimon, swing Alliance 2 checks. Alliance 2 checks. DNA 2 checks again. Like it's a common theme when it comes to these style decks.
It wasn't DNA swing 2 checks. It was DNA become a level 4 DNA, again.
Talk it again. All right, same shit.
Yeah.
That says do this once per turn. I can do it every time I DNA.
Whoa, what is going on? Anyways, someone's background's crazy.
Is Varni's stomach right now?
Might be Gino. No.
Nah, I'm muted when I'm not talking. I always do that.
So it's definitely Lewiston. Oh, maybe it is Varni. Maybe it is Varni.
It couldn't be me. I wasn't even talking.
Whoa, your mic changed. Yeah. I don't know how, but you changed. You sound different. Varni.
Test.
Yo, I'm dead ass. Now you're normal. That was weird. Yeah.
You got super sensitive for a moment and started picking up whatever background noise you were going through.
Yeah. It was weird. Anyways.
Yeah, DNA that was a mistake. They shouldn't have lost the summoning sickness. That was the dumbest thing on the planet.
Like the summoning sickness is like, I understand why it goes away and it's like pseudo rush per se. It makes sense. The issue I think also for me is that inherits are reused again. So things like Niarumon can be reused over and over or something like that. Or like, in Hudimon, you're able to reuse the Palmon inheritable again over and over and over and so on like that. I think that's also a bit of a problem when it comes to the DNA side too.
So, like, in what other card game would you have a system like this? And they would say, oh, yeah, this is an entirely new thing. And it doesn't matter if it was or wasn't in play. You're going to get all of this stuff over again. Because I feel like when other places, other people, other companies design card games, they think about stuff like this. And it's typically tempered. Why is it when DNA was thought of, they said, it doesn't matter if both Digimon came into play in the same turn. Like, I feel like when you're thinking of a new concept, as a developer, when I'm thinking of something, I can't think of everything. But if I have a team of people, and my goal with this team of people is to say, this mechanic, given the direction of where we're going, and given what we want this to do, what are the things that fucking break it? And I feel like free playing Digimon, which was a thing at that point in time. Yes, it wasn't heavy, but it was a thing. And memory gaining inheritables back then, mind you guys, BT8 economy, if you're listening and you don't know where DNA originated from, BT8. So very early on in the game, memory economy back then was way more efficient than it is now, because now you use and abuse. Back then, it was fucking conserve and make sure like everything is intentional. Those two things alone, even if you take away all the other things that DNA is capable of resetting in terms of effects, attacking and memory gaining. How do we fix these two what seem to be big problems? And by number one, you can simply say, if one of the Digimon that is DNAing was played this turn, this Digimon may attack. If it was not played this turn, this Digimon may not attack. So if you have two Digimon that come into play on the same turn, that Digimon cannot attack. You don't end up with DNA for game, because that's dumb, right? We can all agree that that's fucking stupid. Another thing we can agree is stupid, obviously, is the memory gain, but by also making it so that DNA doesn't allow you to swing if one of those Digimon didn't come into play, the when attacking that Dan is talking about, you don't get to abuse it as easily, because then it effectively becomes a once per turn, as it was intended to be.
The issue also is when you look on like the higher end DNAs, those decks will just straight out suck at that point. So like I get why they do it, but at the same time it's like maybe if that is the route they had chosen from the beginning, they don't make the effects.
I got you, Dan.
Now maybe.
I got you. They
like,
wouldn't suck, and let me tell you why. Nah. Well, maybe Millie's different. But there's one card I'm thinking of, and I can't... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong set of cards here. One card that I'm thinking of, this card was arguably horrible because, well, she makes it... It's the Susie and Henry tamer, Gino, you might know, that plays a Lopmon, but that Lopmon can't attack, can't digivolve, and is bounced to your hand at the end of the turn, at the end of your opponent's turn, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Why wasn't that... That's an easy clause. For example, in the case of David and Ken, right?
Oh, God.
We hated these fucking twinks, right? We hated them. And
I still do.
We fucking still hate these guys, right? And the problem is, it's not when your opponent brings out a Digimon and then has Davis and Ken, they play one and then they go into Pyodramon and they end turn on that. That's okay. That's intentional. It's when they have two and they have nothing in breeding and then they're able to play out two Digimon DNA and still do the same fucking shenanigans on the same turn, or they have to bring out one, use one effect, they DNA, then you have all the other effects that you gain, because I think it like strips sources and it gains memory or some shit like that. I can't remember. Wait, no. Yes. Davis and Ken isn't even locked to if you have one or less, is it? Or am I remembering it wrong?
No, you get memory when
you...
Right. Yeah, so like
the one that's locked is like Nokia. Nokia's locked.
Nokia and I think Mirai. Both of those are locked if you have like one or less Digimon or some shit like that. Why the fuck wasn't Davis and Ken locked? Like that's an easy...
The other two are other.
What do you mean? Oh, I know. I don't get... Fuck the other two. They should have been locked too.
Cody and TK
should have been locked.
Yoli and
all six of them, they got bodied in O2 and they came out here with these busted ass effects. I don't want to hear shit. All right?
Listen,
they all should have been locked.
Why did they did Henry and Shu Chong Wong that bad, man? The Digimon played by this effect cannot digivolve and are deleted at the end of the opponent's turn. Those poor Lopmon and Terrier mons.
And you know what Davis and Ken does? If you don't do anything with the Digimon that you played, okay, well, it just goes back to hand.
You can just have it back to use it again next turn. Next start of main.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, seriously, like, where is the game balance? Where is the design that goes into these cards? Because that was, when was Henry and Shu Chong? That was
EX4.
Oh, okay, EX4. Oh, fuck, when did that was David like before BT11, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty early, yeah.
Okay, so I can cut them slack on that, right? You take one, you learn from it, and you come out with the Twink Tamers. Then you bring out these other future cards that are locked. Like, you went from heavily restricted to no restrictions, and we bounced a card, to here's like, all right, we should restrict this. Like, what the fuck are you playtesting? I don't understand.
Ironically, then they future, let's like move forward to Hudi. They limited to like the effect of the inheritables of, you know, you play a rookie out for free, and that thing can't evo either, but you could kind of like just get around it because it doesn't matter when it came to Hudi.
Yeah, that became an alliance target. Or my
right.
searcher.
That's what EX4 was meant for, right? That's what Lockmon, that's what Bunnies was about. It was get that alliance body and then call it a day. You swing your 2 checks or 3, whatever it is that you do, and then you just do that. It doesn't matter. But the problem is then you have what he mentioned, right? Davis and Kenny, just free. Everything's free.
Yeah, the evolution of the game design doesn't make sense, because it'd be one thing if it was like, for example, a great example is Nature Spirits. Fucking sucks as a deck, right? But all the future family decks, it might be better now, but every future family deck iterated and got better. So as a Nature Spirits enjoyer, yeah, it fucking blows, bros. Like, we started with, in my opinion, one of the best ones, and we were the ones left the most in the dust. But every deck took an iterative step forward, which was really good for family decks as a whole. Iterative steps, not fucking light year. You're fucking going from the Earth to fucking Jupiter and back. Like, no, we're going from Earth to the spaceship to Moon. Try to get a moon base, then we go to Mars, like that type shit. Like, what the fuck is this, Bandai? Tell me, Bandai rep. I know you're watching.
Well, EX4,
it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking
EX4
good.
to DG16 is a was that like a year or so gap?
No, but it's the. In terms of Bandai, I don't even remember at this point because we were on a different schedule.
Next, and we had to ban every card
EX5
in that set.
is what broke.
Yeah, you're right.
Like 2 sets
like,
later.
You want to talk about the dual tamers that's broken? Both of those tamers were broken for Galaxy. Like, that changed the game too. Like, that was just dumb as all hell.
Especially because another instance of, on today's episode of why wasn't this card thought about in terms of game design, don't even look at the blue one. Forget about the blue one, because that's like degenerate loop shenanigans, right? We can let that one go. The red one, though, it isn't this, like the digivolving Digimon. It's if one of your Digimon digivolve, you can digivolve any other Digimon into a thing, which I get from the perspective of use this to make big level 7 stack. But might you have thought about locking this down a little bit more than it was? Because going into like Mirage for free was like, huh?
Right.
Are you serious right now? Are you for real, bro? Hexablow for free. OmniX for free. I remember that.
He's gone.
He's gone. He broke it. He broke the mic, guys.
Yeah, right.
So like, Bandai is usually really, really good about like lore accurate effects.
Absolutely.
Ko and Sayo is not a lore accurate effect. Like, because in the game, the idea is that you regress that Digimon so that its next version is stronger. Right. Why are we letting the other thing digivolve? Like, that's not
true.
But you digress.
But I digress.
I mean, I do appreciate that about the way that they design cards. I just wish that they didn't just design cards to be lore accurate. Like, sometimes it's egregious and overboard.
For sure.
They go by lore accuracy, but they don't go by like card game design.
What's good? Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Like,
yes.
It doesn't matter. Like in Digimon, right? Like whatever lore accuracy happens with an effect like APOC, right? Let's go quick example. Like, it makes sense APOC did what it did, but like, why do we make it so broken? And the card game design wise, like, why couldn't we like make it a little bit more fairer where you could still have your reduction play or whatever, or use an effect or whatever, but like, did we need it to have mill 2 cards per, maybe 1 would have been all right. Who knows? You know, it wouldn't have felt so bad when it comes to that, or you know, stuff like that. It's just weird how sometimes they go by like lore design and then it goes crazy, and then sometimes they go by like regular card design and it's just sometimes broken. Like Guru X is just a card design card, like it's just a card game card, right? You basically draw 3 trash 2. Why are we doing that for? Why does a champion have that ability to be able to do that for no reason?
Because why not?
And gain memory.
It's like just these simple little things.
I know you're targeting me right now. I feel kind of triggered right now.
Fuelstar, Imperial, Garurumon. What's the next
deck
you played?
First off, Imperial wasn't my thing. I just took it because
Lies. You played it before then.
No. This was actually the first time I've actually fully played an Imperial Dramon deck, and I hated it.
Wait, deadass? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought you've been playing it for a minute.
No, never. The only time I ever used like any Imperial Dramon cards was Pyldramon and Hoodie before it was cool, and I played Pyldramon in my Armor Vmon deck.
Nah,
you play Armors.
The real goats were playing the dragon mode that spits out 2 level 4s in Leomon X decks. We play out Leomon, we play out the Leomon X. That's what I'm talking about. But
nah. The real ones were playing that same dragon mode, but you were playing it in Examon so that you could do it again.
Yeah.
True. Been there. So like DNA, back to DNA. What if, just hear me out. What if we just didn't give those cards Rush? What if specific level 5s that were DNAs, like literally had Rush printed on them, but the mechanic generally you couldn't swing without it? Would that fix a lot of the DNA problems?
No, because then they'll just fucking print Rush on everything, because that's the Bandai design philosophy.
That's what they would do, but I'm saying, let's say they didn't do that, okay? Let's say they picked one bad one.
If there were certain ones that were meant to have it, I feel like it'd still be broken, because if they decided that it was Shaku that got it, but not fucking Sylphimon.
We all know they make the wrong choice.
I was gonna say like it would make sense as the Pyojima had Rush, because you're just not randomly taking life for no reason. Shaq having Rush, when you're already trashing security to trash both securities, like you're already giving them a -1. You basically did a swing, right? Like to me, that doesn't make sense to give that Rush.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, the DNA as a mechanic, it's not too late to fix it, realistically speaking. They can drop a rule change, and they can just be like, you have to have one of those Digimon in play. They can drop a rule change and say that your newly DNA Digimon can't activate any of the effects that were already activated that turn. And the only thing that you increase is the level of complexity of remembering effects by that much, right? But in terms of all card game levels, you're still not near Yu-Gi-Oh level of complexity of here's chain this and chain that and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Your complexity does not increase a lot by doing a rule change for the way that DNA works. It's only late in the way that Bandai will never, ever do that, given Dragon Ball Super Masters.
Right. Like, it seems like they won't be willing to change the mechanic like Yu-Gi-Oh has done in the past when it comes to Master Rule erratas and whatnot.
Yeah. They won't touch it with a 10-foot. They'd rather release the busted mechanic and then stop using it, i.e. Digiburst. They stopped using Blitz, and they instead just switched the wording instead of using the Blitz keyword for whatever reason that may have been. Like they would rather just abandon.
Yeah.
But like, were those keywords ever good? Like, Digiburst was good for what, like 2 sets, right?
That's all it was supported for.
That was before I played. So
yeah. Like, so here's the problem with Digiburst. If they made a Digiburst on a Digimon, like that was because like right after that was XC body. So now you have in Digiburst, you're doubling those stacks. That was the issue with Grandis.
That's what everybody was afraid of. Yeah,
you had Grandis that was able to make a double stack for everything, and then you just go, all right, Digiburst everything, and now I'm doing 5 checks, GG, like call it a day.
That's probably why they stopped it.
Two reasons. I think it's 2 reasons. Digiburst is not once a certain effect, right? So you just keep doing it until you have whatever, and then you have something like Black War Greymon promo that you go, I'm gonna make a giant stack, just swing a spin, swing a spin, swing a spin, swing a spin. Now once a turn. So I can understand why they kind of try to get away from it, because like if you keep going in that direction, you're gonna make something that's like extremely broken. And we've seen in the past where we can break those cards with no problem. Like Melga, the Melga promo is low-key broken, but at the same time, it's not enough to make it broken. Like if you just read it, it's free option, right? You Digiburst 2 and you play a 7-cost option or lower for free. Like that could be broken.
You can play play BL Star for free, you know?
True.
Sorry, use BL Star for free.
BL Star for free. You could. And then if you have another target to Evo,
to use BL Star
saying.
for free.
Hey, yo. Varni, we lost Gino because of you, dog.
Listen, I'm just feeling the vibe of the room, all right? I'm just feeling the room.
I mean, to be fair, I was going to make the comment, but I just wasn't going to be the first one to make it, so. You know who could use me for free, though? She could step on me even, Lilithmon. I'm just putting it out there, you know?
All right.
Listen, everybody listen real quick. I saw the post that, Lilithmon, a fan favorite, as they said, is going to be getting support in EX14. That Lilithmon better be some fucking good shit, because if it's not, I'm gonna fucking riot. I'm gonna Bandai rep. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, we're already at like neg 10 at this point.
Jack Bandai gonna send out the hit squad now.
All right.
Probably the better example of a keyword to use though would have been like Digisorption. That's never ever gonna see the day of light ever again in the existence of this card game. Like everything else could maybe potentially somewhat kind of see a comeback in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Not Digisorption. That shit's gone forever.
Like, Rocks is basically what Digiburst is.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Right. Digisorption though, free Digi Evolutions, they mostly, no, I wouldn't even say, they kind of learned their lesson, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they hit the two only / best Digisorption cards, which were Argos and what the fuck's the other one?
Blossom.
Yeah, and Blossomon. Yeah, they hit the two only good ones, and now Green has to suffer.
I mean,
or Green suffers from other reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, we printed HPD, so we can't make green decks too good ever again.
No, we can't. You hear that, Cliff? You don't get good green cards.
Pretty much, honestly. Unfortunately.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, that's a thing. Lewis, do you have something that you think that's overly broken in the card game and whatnot besides DNA?
I think redirection is a pretty crazy mechanic.
That's because you're a dirty fucking BL Star player.
Time out. Even as, let's just take out the BL Star piece of, you know what? I want to change my statement.
Oh, the BL Star and Imperial player doesn't want his attacks to be redirected.
Fake Imperial player. Anyway, I'm going to change my statement.
Sorry, go ahead.
My statement is going to go to floating DP reduction on the board.
Basically, like, you mean on the same turn or like across turns?
Across turns, like being able to allowing it to like sort of exist on my turn, then preventing me from playing.
You see that, Susano?
Yeah.
Neg 18 for the turn? Come on.
Just because. And people complained about rune mode. There's just so much like, you get put in such a position where, hey, I want to try to play the game. Oh no, my opponent cleared out my board, put me to 0, and then they just dropped the rune mode on me, so I can't even move my rookie up. I have to be able to foresee it because my opponent's playing a purple and or yellow deck. Or they could just be playing a blue-red deck that for some reason their level 6s are yellow or purple, and then they just drop a rune mode on me. It's things like that that kind of make the game a little like, oh great. It's like, I do that too to people, which I also feel bad for doing it. And there's been moments where I'm just like, am I really better than this card? And it's already in play and I already activated the effect and the card's gone from my hand in that moment of me trying to think about it. But just being able to just lock the board down, stopping any type of gaming interaction, and then Gino drops the Volcanus on them and says, you know, it's like, I'm 2K and I'm still going to swing at you. Like, but for the lesser decks that don't have that zoo, that don't have that like zoo play style, or they put they put yourself in such a really bad position. Like floating DP reduction is kind of AIDS. Not gonna lie.
Let me ask you this, Lewis. Do you like Crimson Blaze?
No.
Why?
Because Crimson Blaze just comes and shoots on my little guys and then says I can't play anymore because my whole deck is around that.
Counterpoint. Would you like Crimson Blaze if it cost a full 6 every time?
No.
No, let me rephrase that. You wouldn't like it, but would you be okay with it?
I still wouldn't be okay with it.
Okay. So here's the problem, in my opinion. The moment that they started printing all of these busted option level effects on Digimon was when it was like, that's what took away options in the first place, right? We used to have to think about the Gaia Force Insecurity and the cock breath and the fucking Heaven's Judgment.
It's your fault. Your fault, Lewis. Just letting you know.
We used to have to think about all that, right? And then we got to a point where we stopped thinking about that because nobody ran them anymore. Because why worry about an insecurity if you could just prevent your opponent from doing it in the first place? I.e., whether it was ruin mode or something that wasn't easily abusable, something like the original Volcanic and Metallics, or to an extent the Crimson Blaze, and we had a Valder Arm with Sakuya at a point, right? Why the fuck would I bother running option cards if I could just have Digimon that do it so I get the body and I get the effect, right? And now they're trying to bring back option cards by giving us dual cards, but they created the problem in the first place. That's a typical case of we gave you it and then we took it away and now we're going to give it to you again to try to fix the problem that we created in the first place, right? It's like, it's the cycle, right? I personally think if Crimson Blaze was 6, 7, I think 7 is probably...
I knew one of them was going to do it. I knew one of them was going to do it. I was wondering. I was just waiting to see.
I work in an elementary school. Okay, it is wired into my brain now.
Gino, did you just say you work in an elementary school? If you have the time to change a child's life, then you should get off the video games. God damn it!
It didn't occur to you that maybe the kids weren't in those days.
Anyways, yeah, I think if the option card, if those effects were limited to option cards and they cost Crimson Blaze or more, you could swallow it easier, right?
Lewis, stop. Let's move on.
Ruin mode is the perfect example. It cost 5 to Digivolve, but costing 5 to Digivolve at 0, give your opponent 5 memory, and then tell them, oh, hey, I saw you were trying to come out of raising on this next turn. It's not happening, right?
No.
I agree. I hate that. I love D-Police. D-Brigade is one of my all-time favorite decks. I can't enjoy that deck as long as there is some menace of yellow or purple deck in the world, because I know that every yellow and purple deck would run the ruin mode, because why the fuck wouldn't you? It's applicable not just for swarm decks, it's applicable for raising decks if they haven't digivolved enough, which most times they won't because you're trying to rely on training because you want to get that effects as you digivolve up the chain. And then at the end of the day, they're going to do it to you for 2 turns and then they're going to recover. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, if you're going to give that effect to a Digimon, it doesn't have to be both when digivolving and on deletion. It can be one or the other, because getting it twice, like, again, we go back to the original topic. Game design. Let's think about this, right? Guys, what's the problems with creating a card that allows you to neg 5,000 DP twice in a row? You're thinking, oh, well, they're just going to do it 10K, which you can, sure. You can most certainly just digivolve, Marcus, swing, and then neg 10K on the board. But you specifically made this card digivolve from yellow or purple, right? You didn't just limit it. You didn't take away the Digi-Evolution bubble and say that it can digivolve from Shine Greymon. You said this card is a generic top end for any yellow or purple deck for a cost of 5. So what can these yellow and purple decks do to abuse this card? Maybe they'll digivolve and neg 5 and then fucking swing and neg 5 again. How do you not make that? How do you not think that that's a toxic thing to do, you know? Like, make it make sense. I don't understand. I don't know.
You just can't. We just suffer.
Right.
And watch our opponent game us on their turn when we had no turn.
Right. Exactly. And then, but if that was an effect on a 7 or 8 cost option card and it said neg 5k, I think neg 5k for 6 or 7, I said or, sounds about fine. But it's just like, it's that thing, right? It's like, I can definitely understand where you're coming from because I enjoy decks that play with low cost DP shit. That's my jam. That's what I like. So I fucking hate a card that quite literally says you can't enjoy that shit. Crimson Blaze feels really bad because it's like, I'm going to play this for 1 to end my turn, and you're at 1 and you can't raise and do anything because even though you've got trainings, you can't play anything by effect. So get fucked, you fucking noob. Like, I hate that shit. I do. I don't like that. So yeah, I'm with you there.
That's why I was saying, back in the day when we had a ban list talk that Crimson Blaze should go to 1. Because it stops. It's a floodgate effect that anyone can technically use, and you're stopping your opponent being able to play the game instead of having a back and forth of playing the game.
So we don't like when decks are too fast and therefore can abuse all of their effects multiple times a turn. We don't like when we can't play the game. What else we got?
We got both ends of the spectrum over here. Varni,
right?
All right.
What do you got for us?
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a color, and its name was blue. And everybody fucking hated blue. Only certain people liked blue. And yes, Dan, I see the face, but hear me out. Listen to me real quick.
I'm waiting to where this is going.
Blue had a mechanic that nobody else had, and Blue's mechanic was called Unsuspend. In another land, far, far away, there lived another color, and its name was red. And they had a mechanic that nobody else had, and that mechanic was called Security Attack Plus. Then, one day, the worlds converged, and those things came together, and we've got Sec +1, Unsuspend. Why?
Everything was fine until the Yellow Nation attacked.
Yeah, right?
But only Jack Bandai, master of all the colors, can fix this game.
I don't understand it. One thing I hate about this game, one thing I hate about the game design, there's a lot of things I hate about it, obviously. I don't like that things don't stay in the archetypes and or colors that they were meant for. There are some things that are perfectly fine to call it a day on this one archetype and never use it anywhere else, or use in one color and never use anywhere else. I would have been totally fine with blue unsuspending if blue was the only one that did that, because then it becomes the color identity, and when you see it, you expect it. You know what it's about. You know what it can do. But then when you bring it into another color, you are combining that mechanic with whatever that other color is capable of doing. And then you lose color identity. If you were to describe today's decks, I feel like red is still hard-hitting, Sec +1. They're trying to kill you as fast as possible. They don't give a fuck about what else you got going on. And yellow is still... Yellow's only known for angels. Okay, let's be realistic. Yellow is just recover, and use recover to do more recover type shit.
Well, now Jupitermon.
Still recovering.
Recovery in it. Still recovery.
Recover
it's not just angels. Yeah, potentially.
Purple has recursion. It's always had recursion. And I remember this very well. When Scrambles came out, we thought Scrambles were going to be busted. Do you still feel like Scrambles are busted, Dan?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the comeback mechanic of it.
Right, recursion. Because if it was one thing where it was like, oh, well, you have to play out a Digimon from hand, you might not have that Digimon, that's fine. But when you play Scramble to Digivolve into something, then that thing is going to get your thing back from trash, so you know it's going to come, and they're going to get back another Digimon that they're going to be able to kick off with next turn. That's pretty fucking good, right? And purple is... Everybody hates purple because purple has recursion, and recursion is inherently busted in almost every game that mechanic is used in, right? They don't give recursion to many other decks. If a deck has recursion, it's typically half purple, i.e. red, purple, Imperial, right? So why is it that something like Unsuspend or Sec Plus is given to other colors willy-nilly? It doesn't need to happen. Go ahead, Dan.
Recursion is now a Greymon thing that they give
really
every Greymon thing. Yes, Greymon is now the card that's like, I'll grab A, B, C of my archetype from the trash, and then I'll be able to play the game. So, for example, for Metal Empire and Virus Busters, the Greymon in the deck goes on play on Evo, grab a Greymon or Agumon card, or Emmy or Virus Buster traded card. Even the was 8001 Greymon states the same thing. Grab Greymon or Omnimon, and then another Greymon does the same thing now. I forget, there was one prior to that one. I was like, that is now the Greymon niche. Greymon players from back in the day or Reddit was like, I'm tired of not being able to do this. Here's all of it, and that's all you're going to do now. Oh, and Rage.
But you know what? I think that's fine, right? Because it's locked to an archetype, and it's not locked to an entire color identity.
But
right?
now everything is doing that, because Glowing Dawn has a Chiropmon, which is a purple rookie that can grab a card from the trash as well. So like they all kind of have their own.
Hey, but it's a purple rookie, right? So the trade-off is playing the purple rookie. And I say it in that way because Glowing Dawn as a deck is inherently multicolor. So you can't, you can lean green or yellow if you wanted to play Training Boost. But you can also just decide to play the archetype, the multicolor archetype, because they have the dedicated memory boost and they have the E-Pulse. And I think that's fine because that's archetype design. And I don't think it's as easily abusable as when it's like generic or generically done, when it's generically splashable.
So like in the last several sets, probably since EX11, we haven't had single color decks. All of these decks have been trait locked and like black box locked, and not really. Every deck can do everything now. And I think that's what Varney's saying, is that he doesn't like that the game has gone in this direction, because like every deck has access to a stun now. Every deck can stun something, can delete something, can de-digivolve something, like, because you're just mixing and matching. TS can do all of that stuff. Shambhala does all of that stuff. What am I missing here? Like Hoodie was doing all of that stuff. Like, it's just everything is now trait locked instead of color locked. And like, yeah, these colors still have the identity, but like 90% of the decks we're printing, you got one of everything in it. Like
that's an additional problem.
So that's the thing they also do. Like it's not just like, all right, blue has just an unspent and you know, purple is draw or something like that, right? A lot of times you have to draw one trash one or something like that. But they do what they do is for purple to have the unsuspend, they make cards as like blue and purple, and so now you get both. Or you go, you know, blue and red, second type +1 and an unsuspend, and that's how you get like everything combined into that one card to make things, you know, extra broken, whatever.
Well, Beelstar dual card has the ability where it's a black purple card, and it's when attacking is trash an option to unsuspend, and it's counter timing, so it's not really tied to the color identity of the deck.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my larger like arcing problem.
Thing like unsuspend though has slowly become like every color has that ability to do that, right? Vortex is a green deck that has the ability to unsuspend. Like you mentioned, Beelstar has the ability to unsuspend, and it's not blue at all. You have Machinedramon technically now with the ME, because you could do funny things, but like
doesn't red have an unsuspend? Doesn't red have an unsuspend where it takes a life and then you unsuspend? I feel like that exists.
So I was looking at cards while Varney was explaining his problem here, and the card that came to my brain instantly was the newly printed Nezhamon, who is black red, has an immunity and an unsuspend whenever security is removed, which by the way, security removal was like a yellow thing. Like, what are we doing here? Like, obviously the intent is that it's both an offensive and defensive card, right? Because it's got both the offensive keywords and the defensive keywords. But like,
let me touch
you can see we're like muddying this up here, right?
So here's the fix. Here's what I would have done, right? Because I also see where they were going with Vortex. Instead, take a cue from like Machinedramon, for example. The idea is that you're gonna block or like swing and then be able to block, right? Why don't we just redirect to Lewis's dislike of this mechanic?
Redirect is not a bad thing, Lewis.
Let me suffer. Let me suffer, please.
I can understand that giving, like, if you give it redirect instead of blocker, there are things that you can get around because of being blocked versus being redirected versus can't be suspended. So I can understand why it unsuspends. But then I feel like you need to change the way that you're designing from the first place, because then you should say, we have it, this attack can't be redirected, right? And that supersedes everything. So it doesn't matter whether you can unsuspend. It should just matter whether the attack can be redirected. And then you use that sparingly, because the other problem is that everybody gets this attack can't be redirected. And you know where the problem comes from? The problem comes from BT16, when they decided to print a card that was omnipotent. When they decided that complete immunity was the thing to put into this game at that point in time. Don't know who decided that this was a thing that you could put into the game at that point in time, but they did. And that card is what fucked up the timeline, realistically speaking. That card has influenced no, let me rephrase that. There are two things that changed the course of Digimon. Do you guys know what the first one was?
Reference. Gina.
Do you guys know what the first instance was that changed the course of Digimon game design?
BT9.
No.
My guess is dual color.
No.
Okay.
Lewis, it's one of your buddies over there in New York.
Oh, God.
Secon?
Security control.
Yes. I was going to attribute it to BT9, but no, it's Secon, right? Because since Secon, you can argue that because of Secon, they came out with Magna X. Because of Secon, they decided to give security trashing to everything, let you burn through security more, give you complete immunity, and all of these things to get around what Pete was doing with Secon. And of course, yes, I know Secon was around before Pete. I know, I played Secon, but Pete took it to fucking Worlds and fucking, like, he showed the world Secon, right? And they look at it as, this is not going to be the face of our game ever again. So Secon completely changed it. And then they said, all right, bet, Magna X. So they went from this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum. They went from the Secon as a deck, everything. Let's just start, progressively giving things some Sec +1, some unsuspend, there's some this, some that, some immunity, like little tiny immunity to, what if we just give something full immunity? Call it a day. Yeah, well, it's the only card in the game. No.
No, there's like three.
There's two or three, because there's Ragna, Magna X, and I feel like there is one more. Which Chaosmon? Is it a promo?
Chaosmon promo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't thought about it. So that is something that is used very sparingly. And I hope that it continues to be used very sparingly, because Magna X is a level 6. Realistically, that's like level 7 power. Chaosmon's a level 7 and Ragna's a level 7. And I'm okay with stuff like that if it's used tastefully. If not, everybody gets it, which is the problem. That's my overarching problem. Why does everybody end up getting some of the same things? Digivolve, I get it. It's the best way to get around any protection in the game, obviously. Duh, makes sense to me. But why does everybody need Digivolve? It's okay for some decks to just get smacked the fuck up, right? Like, that just means, Dan, you're going to be with me on this one. A deck like Justimon should be made better, right? Because when we had a problem with option cards, Justimon was the only, well, there was Lucamon, but that's a little bit of an outlier. But so I'll just stick with Justimon. Right. I'm just going to use Justimon as the best example. That's a deck that, as a game design company, as a game designer, you should look at and just be like, we should make this deck better since this combats the problems in the meta right now. But then we encounter, I'm not going to take up your spot, Dan. I'm just going to say this and then I'll be done. Then we encounter the other problem with this game, and the fact that anything that comes out, there is a lead time on it. They can't release things and be like, all right, here's us fixing a problem. Everything has to have a lead time. Case in point, the ban list. There's no such thing as an emergency ban list unless your name is APOC. And even then, we're trying not to do emergency ban list, right? Like, go ahead, Dan. What's your problem with this shitty ass game?
Whoa. Game is still great. It just got some issues. Well, since Gino took my thing was DNA.
You asked me first.
I know. I didn't know you were gonna say DNA. I didn't know he was gonna say DNA first. That's my fault. Goddamn.
This is not scripted.
Yeah, exactly. I had a couple things that came to mind while you were talking. One is the ability to take a deck and just be able to trash the carry like it's nothing to go for game. So like looping that ability to trash something has been, I think, starting to become a problematic for the game, because like, for example, Beelstar, right? You can just trash 90% of that security. You get one swing in there. You hope that one swing they hit for security is either a 13k DP monster or a, you know, an option that actually kills it, right? And if it's not, you're kind of SOL, and then the rest of the security gets trashed and it's GG, right? I know people are having an issue with that. Also, I'm a culprit in this, but I understand why people hate them loops. Decks that are able to freely loop things, like no problem. Millenniumon is a loop deck, right? My Otismon, they hit the loop, so it's not as bad, but like previously, being able to go infinite memory gain just because you can was a problem. Hudimon, which kind of got addressed, was a loop, and we're finding ourselves always in every format. All right, what's the new loop? And that's kind of probably a problematic thing for the game. And then obviously now Angel loop, right? We were just talking about Shaq, free DNA, free play champion, free play champion, DNA.
Hey Dan, let me stop you real quick.
For free.
Do you think loop decks, because of the way that like loops are nowadays, like back then our loops were Lilith loop, which was Jack Raid, which got hit. Did we have we had Serb loop, but that also made use of memory gaining mechanics, which aren't as easily achievable now. Do you think modern loop decks can get curbed if those DNA mechanics are locked down so that you don't reset effects, and or they can't attack unless they were played that turn, or they have rush?
Oh, 100%, right? For anyone who's played Angel Loop here, which is these two, because I think Lewis played it, right? You played the Angel Loop
just a little bit.
Okay, because I know Gino has. Like, if you have restriction on your swing, because like what the issue is, right? A lot of times when you go Shaq, right? You go play a body, you DNA. You have rush, right? Technically, you evo to the Minervamon, and then now you play a body out. You swing Alliance, play another body out. You're swinging 2 checks off of that because you DNA and kept that same Digimon, and then you do your 2 checks. Now you have the 2 free bodies. You go into another Shaq, you do it again, and you just keep going, right? It was the same issue. Low key Alliance is a little bit of an issue, you know what I'm saying? Because you're able to just have all these free bodies mixed within this and just have free 2 checks every single time. Whenever you feel like it.
Whenever.
I would have been fine if security attack as a keyword was like, here's how we give it to other archetypes, and then they used Alliance for that.
The problem, I think,
I got it. This is how you fix Alliance real quick. Like, if that line says, like, if you alliance with this body, this Digimon can't Digivolve, fixes everything, right? Especially like loop, like any like Shaq loop deck that's happened. If that body can't just be used to reuse as a DNA freely, no problem. I think that would have been, you're probably fine.
That is another
anything, right? Like you just can't do anything with it because it doesn't matter. You just go.
You get one or the other, not both.
Right, you suspend the body for the swing, and now you just go, all right, cool. I'm gonna take this body that's suspended already, DNA with another unsuspended body to make another Digimon that's has runs basically, and then you just pop off. You continue doing it.
Yeah, agreed.
What were you gonna say, Gino?
Yep, that's what I was going. That's exactly what I was going to say. The problem is when Alliance is in a DNA deck, because like originally Alliance was bunnies, and bunnies was not DNAing. The idea was, ooh, my level 5 is gonna get to do 2 chip damage at like 10 to 11 DP, but it's kind of risky, you know, to hit two at that number. But now we're just like, oh, you know, I'm playing something mid swing and then I alliance with it, looking at you like Fenrilugamon. That's right. This is the Pick on Lewis podcast.
Yes, it is. This is a great
Fenrir had a different problem. Fenrir was a whole other goddamn issues.
I know, but that's my thought though, is that Alliance was originally printed as this sort of like low to the ground, like we're gonna body real fast. I got my 2 best bunnies and we're gonna go in, and if we die, then whatever, we're just gonna start fresh. And now like almost every deck has Alliance mixed with May Attack, usually. Like Adventurer, the new SW deck does this. And just like, I don't know, man. It's too much. And the big problem is right. The big problem is, okay, I'm going to Alliance with this thing. And then cool, now it's DNA fodder. And then the DNA is maybe going to play something else out. And I'm going to go Alliance and I'm going to do some more damage. Like, and then they printed a set that is like all DNA just now. You got Virus Buster DNA, you got Metal Empire DNA. They threw some Nightmare Soldier DNA in there for you.
Nightmare Soldiers!
I'm excited to build that. I have it made on Bandai's app, but I haven't put it together yet. But that's neither here nor there.
It's where?
It's somewhere. No, I agree, Dan. I agree. Those are I mean, you don't gotta sell me.
Yeah, for sure. So that's definitely some things was a problem. With all that, we kind of like threw into it what we're going to fix when it comes to the game. Like we kind of talked about it as we're doing. What are some fixes of the game besides the ban list, which is the only fix we have currently, it feels like. And sometimes that doesn't fix it as much as we want it to.
Are you asking somebody specifically first?
Varni, go ahead, because I know you have something good.
Nah, go ahead, Gino. You got it.
All right,
you're the guest.
Go first.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the guest goes first. The guest always goes first.
All right.
Yeah,
but I didn't go first the first time, you know.
He's on our pod.
But now
so
the guest
go
first. I got to switch it up. I'm switching it up.
All right. So, hear me out. First of all, this game needs more fucking security. That's problem number one. You decided that you were going to give unsuspended security attack plus to all of these decks. You need to increase security. Along with that, however, I acknowledge that yellow can get out of hand. So maybe there should be a cap on the amount of motherfucking security you can have. Because I remember days when I played and I could fucking bring my shit up to 10 security and call it a day. So perhaps there should be a limit and you can't just recover willy-nilly. I know they limit recovery effects now. So it's like if you're at 3 or fewer or 4 or less, that's good. Let's keep it like that. Let's try not to introduce fucking recovery +1 unbarred, right? But along with that, something that I think could work well. Gundam has this thing called shields. Gundam's problem with shields is that they've got a bunch of fucking weenies that cost 1, 2 that they can play out and come. 3 of them can take out your shield. And then once your shield is gone, that's it. Every shield or every one of your shields. Sorry, it's what's that thing called, Lewis? Your base, right?
The base.
Yep. Yeah. Your base. They can come and they can take out your base, and then every one of your shields has 1 life, essentially. So 1 unit can take out 1 shield. Gundam could easily fix their problems by saying that shields are 2 or 3 life. That's an easy fix for them. It's a game mechanic, easy fix. They won't, but it's something that they can do because your base is at minimum, it's got 3. I think the lowest cost one I've seen is, or the lowest life one I've seen is 3.
The EX base is 3, and then it's like 5.
I think the highest I've seen is 6. 7.
No.
I think the highest I've seen is 6.
It's 5 or 6. I don't remember which one.
So
it is.
Nice. You have these differing levels of how much protection you can put onto your security, right? One thing I loved what Bandai did was the way they did field options. They made field options tuck at the bottom of security, and some of them tuck at the top, but most of them tuck at the bottom. And that way it's always active so that you don't have to worry about it until like your security gets wiped out, which in today's day and age is easier. What if instead we had the equivalence of a base, something, it doesn't have to be a base. It could still be fields in just a different way, but they have
a name for it.
What is it?
We can put a gate.
The gate
isn't just a free. The gate isn't just a free life. It has a DP threshold, so it takes damage.
Exactly. Maybe not necessarily a DP threshold, because that's a little bit tough with the game, right? Because some decks
it has some life to it. Like it's a 20K. It's a 20K.
Yes,
gate.
20K. But that's going to require a game change, right? It would be 20K, but it would take damage, so you'd have to swing like 4K into it, and it's down 16, 4K, and it's down to 12.
Yeah, so like it keeps the damage.
Right, exactly. Persistent damage on the gate. And then once you get past it, then you start getting to the security. And the security can stay at 5 at that point. Because if you have something that has, even if it's like, let's say I know there are still some, but are there many megas that are 11K nowadays? So 12K
is usually 12.
12K is a great baseline then.
12K is fine.
And a lot of times they will have 12K base, and then like in its effect, it's going to be like +2, +3, +4, some shit like that.
Right. So I think 12K would be a great baseline to say, when you get to a mega level, you can just swing and take this thing out. Or if you have like a level 5 and a level 4, they could probably take it out as well. A 7 or an 8K, a 4 to a 6K. I think that's reasonable if it had something in front to absorb damage, just like in Gundam, and then you get to the actual security. That could fix a good bit of problems, because for the same reason that Gundam currently has a problem with, well, the same way that Gundam just has problems in general right now. Once you get through the base, the rest of the shields are easy to take out by a bunch of weenies, and that's because the way that their resource system works in terms of the ramp and in terms of the economy of dropping those low-cost units. Then you end up having to load up on a bunch of blockers to prevent them from swinging in at your shields. But Digimon doesn't have that problem. With Digimon, we're at a point where it's, if you take out one security, you're probably dead next turn, buddy. What if instead of taking out one security, they had to work? So upping it to 6 doesn't necessarily make that problem easier. It just means, oh, cool, well, they played a rookie turn 1 in Swang, then they played another one in Swang, so they can still come up and do the same thing. No, the gate makes you think a little bit different, and then it gives you a new gameplay mechanic that you can experiment with in the same way that we have the field options. Like, while this card is on the field, gain some kind of passive effect, whether it's just a basic 1K on your turn, or there's different ones that you can play, so you can get 1K on your opponent's turn, or to 2K all turns, or some shit like that. I don't know. I think that's cool. I think that's a nice explorable idea that they can take from a sister card game.
So here's my question. I don't know what you're talking about. Are we talking about like a card that you put in your own deck that would when you play for like a field cards, like one of the field spells, you activate it for 3, you play at the bottom, get an effect, right? Or do you mean this is something that is going to be at the start of the game? You set up your security, you put your 5, and then you have this gate in front of your 5.
It can, well, both ideas that you mentioned is, so both things that you mentioned, it's supposed to be something that sits in front of your shields. Just think about the way that Gundam works. It's exactly that.
No, I understand, but like, is that you want it to be just like an EX space where it's just a one-time use in the very beginning of the game? The game is set up and that's how you do, or this is something you draw and then you play for an effect, like like the regular basis.
I'm impartial to either. It doesn't matter one way or the other. Because I think there's cool things you can do with both.
I feel like if it's in the deck, is either not going to ever be used, or it's going to be used too much. And then you bring back decks like a Secon type of deck, and then that comes back, and then
of course you can't. Yeah, I wouldn't release. I'd make it generic.
And if that but then if that happens, then like, can this just be trashed? Like, what's stopping it from being all right, cool? Effect.
It's not secure. It's not security. It's a gate. To Lewis's point.
All right, then, like, so it might become a problem with Secon, just if it's generic as hell, right? You just keep replaying it if it's in your deck, right?
No,
I'm gonna go build security as well while I have this gate. All right, you kill my gate. All right, I'm gonna put a new gate, and then I'm gonna keep board controlling again, and then we get to the point of like, all right, we're going to put double, triple, double Emperors, double, triple Kairis again, and we keep playing, whatever options or whatever, and then we just get back to the same issue again. Because even though the game is faster, something like that can easily happen, depending on like if it's in the deck or it's just a one-time thing in the very beginning of the game, like an EX space or something like that.
So what it could be is it could be just a card. It counts towards your card count. So it's your 50th card, but at the start of your game you can take it out, and then you start the game with it, and then you have 49 cards left in the deck.
I think
and you can only have one copy of it in the deck.
So one thing to Dan's point, it's not security, so it doesn't get treated like security. I'd also put the restriction that if it's in play, you can't recover. You can't modify your security. It's there, right? So you can get around some of those things.
Fair at that point.
I think
if that's
also,
the case, I think it just doesn't do anything.
I think the other thing about it could just be something you gain at the beginning of the game and then you call it a day. You don't have to go the Gundam route and introduce a new card type. It could just be something that you start with and then they've got to get through it. It's kind of like, so in Grand Archive, their multiplayer format called Pantheon, they have something called a Pantheon barrier. Now, granted, this is a multiplayer format, but the reason it was introduced is because one problem in Grand Archive is there are things that are nice to like play on your first turn, but if somebody takes it out, then it's like, damn, I wish I could have, right? So what the Pantheon barrier is you have to deal, I think, like 6 damage to it or something before you can actually deal any damage to your opponent. The idea is something similar to that, where it's like, you can still attack your opponent's Digimon, that's fine, but you're just trying to slow the game down without like warping it, right? Like obviously we don't want Setcon again. We don't want to warp the game to that level again. I think if it was something like a Gundam's EX resource that you just start, or EX base that you start with, and then that's it, I think that's fine. If you had the option, what they could probably do, right? I think that'd be a perfect UR card. It's something that you don't need a ton of. You can only have one type of it in your deck ever. It's your, to Lewis's point, it's your 50th card. So you have to then play with a 49 card deck. And so yes, everybody is incentivized to play one because you want to start with less cards, right? Because deck thinning is deck winning. Or you could make it the 51st card. I don't fucking know. It could go either way. But you just start with it, it's there, and once you beat it, it's done. You never have to worry about it again. But by the time that you beat it, you don't have to worry about Setcon. The Setcon, they don't have another one that they can place, and then you can try to blaze through their security. But it gives time. It puts for a different way of play. I'm not saying that's necessarily the solution, but that is one thing that I like from Gundam. I will say there's one thing I really like about the way that Gundam works. So that would be my change.
I'm going to make a suggestion without warping the mechanics of the game. I just think we need more effective defensive options that don't say I'm immune to everything and don't say I win the game when I get into this card. Like that was the big problem with Magna X when Magna X was big. It becomes this big defensive wall, but then next turn they play Fire Rocket on it. They get it 2 checks, they unsuspend, they get 2 more checks. Like that's a problem. Like we need the defensive options not to also win you the game, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. The second thing is like maybe not part of this current thought, but to piggyback off of like the gate base idea thing, like if you have a face up, maybe not every deck has access to it. Maybe it's a white card that everybody has access to. This card cannot be trashed from security when it's face up. Like that's its security effect. You know what I mean? Like you have to hit it, and then its hit effect does something valuable, right? Plays like most of the time now, most decks are doing, I'm going to play my face up field spell in my security, and then my field spell is going to play a blocker so that I can survive one more hit, right? Like
I draw a card.
Something like that. But back to my main thought is I think we just need more effective defense options that don't also just win you the game next turn because you blocked. Like simple, but that's my thought.
Yeah, on top of that, if it had the ability to get trashed, I think that would be better. Because how many times that like any of us who's played in competitive game today, oh, that's a field spell, I know what's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna trash it first before you even get it out, and then now I win. Like right, like that's the main combo. For example, for Volk, right? You do your 4 checks with the Volk, you drop the Marsmon on that 5th check. You're not really swinging on it. You activate the on play effect. You battle something, you trash your opponents, and face up security. Now you just go for game, right? It doesn't matter if field spells had the ability to have can't be trashed. I think that was a lot better because now you're guaranteed to have that potential blocker or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Only downside is if they have that and then you have bees who play things like crazy, and I don't know. That'd be kind of funny because like they had like 3. Imagine you had like 3. Was it Royal Palace or whatever it's called, and they couldn't be trashed from security,
I'm not saying every field spell needs to be able to do this. I'm just saying
they don't. But I also don't think bees can do that, can they? Because don't you have to take? Oh, they can. Because right, because they just insert right.
Add the top and then place bottom, no matter what it is.
Gotcha. So theirs is inverse.
But like bees is probably an exception to the rule when it comes to that, for sure.
Bees.
I'm not saying I'm not a card designer. I'm not saying this is how you like. I can't make the card that fixes the game, right? That's not my job,
right?
And that's I'm not going to tell you this is the card you need to print, but like the big problem is like I said earlier, defensive cards that just multitask into winning the game for you and becoming super aggressive and offensive cards on the following turn, or they're dealt with so quickly and then you have no comeback whatsoever. Like that was the big problem with Vortex Dramon. Cool, this is a really good both offensive and defensive card, but it's instantly dealt with, and now what? Like I've spent all of my resources into doing this and now it's gone. Like and it's a slippery slope because you also
too defensive, right?
Exactly. It's a slippery slope because you also don't want to print something that's like, okay, but also here's my defensive monster. It says you can't play Digimon by effects. Like that's annoying. That's the problem that we had at the beginning. Like that's volcanic and metallic Dramon, right? Like
that should be used sparingly on some Digimon, but generally speaking, there are certain things that should be relegated to being an option card effect.
Go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
Valid. I don't remember. I have something else I can add to solution. But Lewis, do you have anything you want to add to solutions?
I mean, I was kind of on the whole gate idea because I like playing Gundam too, and I thought that was a really great mechanic. Please look at my dog. She's a ball of fur right now. Where's my hanger? There she is.
I see her. She a cutie.
Yeah. I think the gate idea is a really good way to sort of like even the game out. Whether or not it is like everybody said, like how I mentioned, it'll be like the 50th card in your deck. It exists outside the deck. It's just a way to prevent yourself from getting chipped down early by, rookie rush style decks. And then also sort of answers the issue with dying so quickly against decks that could just instantly OTK you because, they can chip at your life, but they still have that one thing in front of it that's preventing it from actually dealing the game-winning, like, kill. Like, yeah, sure, you'll trash all 5 of my security, but you just wasted your turn, and you still have to deal with this thing that has a DP threat, a DP, like, it has HP to it. Sorry, I'll just say HP. It has HP to it, so you'll kind of have to, like, just beat over it and then have it out of the way, but at the same time, you're giving your opponent, the person who's getting locked out of the game in a way, an ability to come back for it, either by some floating effect, like, whenever you receive damage, draw a card, pick up a card from your trash, something. It can't be all of that, but it's just, something that gets you a little bit of value.
Yeah.
Or maybe a pseudo ice wall. Or a pseudo ice wall effect. You hit me, I gain 1 memory. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I think there are really cool ways that they can incorporate it into Digimon where it can be something that's customizable. It doesn't just have to be this vanilla 12K thing that you beat on. It can be, here's a new base or a new gate every set, or 2 new gates every set. They're UR rarity, and they have these differing effects. So you have your choice what you want to play, but it is revealed start of game. You know what's going to happen, so you can expect it. It's the one known about hitting your opponent.
I got it. Hear me out. It's not a gate. Mm-hmm. It's a crest.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a crest with a color identity.
Okay.
But it can only be used if your deck is predominantly mostly of a single color.
That's a bad deck check idea.
Okay, so then no, but it has a color identity to it.
It would be better if they were akin to like
throws out all of the current cards that they're building. Everything. It's like, you can't play this in TS. You can't play this in VB. You can't play this in
Greymon. We're playing Greymon, Garurumon Tribal. I'm sorry, Ali, I scared you off. It has it all. But the whole idea that I'm trying to like sort of like put together also is we have a crest. It has an HP. It has HP to it, and every single time you hit it and trying to be aggressive, you're also putting me at an advantage. Blue can maybe unsuspend one of my Digimon. Red can pop a 2K or lower. Something small so you're not getting really like rushed down.
Small effects.
yellow minuses 2k
Unsuspend
DP on something. Okay, fine. I won't suspend. You want me to gain a memory? You want me to unsuspend?
I'm only saying because of the unsuspend thing. Like, all right, like today's game where we have evade.
Blocker,
all right, cool. We'll swing. We'll evade. You maybe unsuspend. Great, my evade is back.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I don't know. It's just something I just thought about it.
I said, let me get my all fours back and check. My baby got blocker.
Again, we are not card designers.
No, I think I got one better. Just on destroy, or when it would leave the security field, whatever the zone is actually called.
When it goes to trash.
When this card moves from X to trash, gain the effect. So whether it's gain a memory or not unsuspend, but it could be. Well,
if it's a one-time thing, I think that's fine. Not every time you swing at it, you get to unsuspend. You know.
Fine.
Or hey, just give me a Digimon back from my trash or something like.
Yeah.
Like scramble.
I've struggled enough to like that as an effect.
Okay.
I think Bandai realized that scrambles were too good because that's why they're printing all of these multicolor decks. Like, if they feel like they need a scramble, they print DigiSeabass. Like,
yeah.
Hey Dan, seems like that podcast about what was it, year and a half ago, 2 years? Has it been that long since we had scrambles? Shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like scrambles are busted. And I remember being told that we were just afraid about, X, Y, and Z. We should go look at the comments on that podcast because it seems like we were right, like we normally are.
Oh, yeah. My fixes.
Never been wrong.
My fixes. No, never. The definitive DGU tier list every single time. Never wrong, always right? My fix is the same as I probably mentioned in the past. I think it's more now than it has been. One, MSTs, that's generic for anything because games are so reliant on having, multiple options out as your, it's like your back row basically, right? Now we have your more broken ones, right? We have way more broken with TB and SW where one, it says when a level 5 or higher gets deleted, you'll play another one that's level 6 or lower, whatever it is. Then you have the other one that can just evo whenever you want.
It's just play anything.
Yeah, basically, right? You have, Millennium on, obviously, with their options that you have three. They have three really good options that are, delay effects. I just think Appmons have important delay effects. Like every deck you can think of has an important delay effect that they use and abuse in today's game. And it also speeds up the game with trainings, boosts, yada, 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 right? So like we need these generic cards that can pop them, whether it's for 3 costs, 2 costs, wherever the cost is, we should have that ability to have that in our decks if we want to. If we don't want it in our decks, cool, you don't have it, but we should have the option. If I want to be a little bit more of a defensive deck where I know I'm playing against all these decks that do have them, which you will, you want to run maybe 1 or 2 and like, all right, cool. I want to have this silver, not necessarily silver bullet, but I have something that I can deal with. All right, I can deal with this option instead of having to run Justimon Ace or whatever, or that's basically the most generic one you can get out of any option popping in the game. A Justy Ace. No one's trying to run a Ace monster and overflow. Even though it has a pretty good effect, but like it's just gotta be more generic than that, than just a Justimon Ace. Like an option that kills an option, it's fine, I think. I got another one.
Emergency program shutdown.
Yeah, I got another one, but it looked like Varni was gonna say something I was gonna say.
I was thinking about the idea of game design and how some people think like staples are not good for game design. And so in this case, like if there was a generic digital gate open, that this sets the precedent because this card says you can ignore this card's color requirements. It's not an auto run in every deck, but that's because not every deck plays option cards. But if they were to create a card like Tamers. But if they were to create MST like Digital Gate Open, 4 cost or cost X, where this is one cost more than whatever it is that your opponent that you're targeting, right? They would never do that because that's too complex game design for Bandai. But playing every other game that I've been playing, they're not fucking afraid to do that shit, which is another gripe. Anyways, what stops you from running that MST at 4? Nothing, right? Generally speaking, you're on the riskier end. You're like, I don't ever want to see 4 of this card, but I need 3, right? But then you think about like the state of today's decks, and the state of today's decks is that generally speaking, on average, anywhere from 7 to 9 of your cards are locked in. It typically doesn't matter what deck you're playing unless you're playing something like Volcanus, because that one is such like an outlier, or I don't know what other ones, but you're running scramble, like 1 to 2 scrambles, you're running 2 to 3 memory boosts, and you're running 3 to 4 training boosts. Because why wouldn't you?
Feels like only liberated decks are single colored. Still, like, a lot of liberated decks are like that, but not much of.
That's
like,
what I was saying.
TS almost doesn't care about
it was
those.
EX11 was the last like single colored decks. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so well, like with the but okay, so let's use Glowing Dawn as the example. 4 E-Pulse, 4 memory boost, Gino.
They don't even run 4 anymore. Yo, the top lists are like at 2 max.
2 what? E-Pulse or memory boost?
No, 4 E-Pulse, 2 boost.
Yeah, 4
E-Pulse. So 6 option cards. So
sure.
It's still within range, somewhere between 6 to 9 consistency cards. And that's because you need to do that, right? So at what point in just general game design, I'm not targeting, I'm not trying to like shit on your MST idea. I'm just talking generally speaking. At what point, because like Yu-Gi-Oh suffered from this, right? Hand traps. You've got to run, whether it's Droll or they do different things, but Droll and Ash, baby. You have your set amount of cards that you have to run. So at what point does like creating cards to combat a card that everybody runs, is that bad game design? Which obviously it is bad game design that you got to that point that you're considering it. That's how I feel. So like,
well, you should always have an answer to. You should always have the answers to the book, right? Like,
right.
Like you should be able to have the counter to whatever they do. They give the counter to everything. Like they drop Ex Machina, the most broken ass Digimon deck you can think of. And the same said they gave you the answer in Vortex Dramon. And whoever says Vortex Dramon is not the answer to Ex Machina, you know who you are and you know you're wrong. Anyways, like we know that is the answer. They gave it to us.
Okay.
They can give the same thing that's not just limited to Justimon as an answer. Like when that deck pops off, like for example, right? Like the deck that was using abusing Justimon the most is probably the V4 the DM V4 deck, or V2 probably was, right? That you can V2, go Justimon, V2. You go to the Vademon, you bounce Tamers, and then you go Justimon to pop an option. That's fantastic to be able to have that ability in a deck to be able to do that. But now everything should be able to have that ability. It's not just this one deck only that can do it, which is niche as hell, and Justimon that has the ability to do it. That shouldn't just be that. Yes, if the point is the game's gotten to the point it's too broken that we need something like that, sure. But we need it. Like it's not something that's it's not bad design either at this point. If the point is bad design because we got to the point of that, then it is what it is. But we should have it and have the ability to do it. And so it gives you the idea of like, all right, maybe I don't maybe I immediately pop. Like what's the one thing I tell Gino all the time nowadays? I am never afraid to pop my boosts, and sometimes I like to use them. I don't like to use them and I keep on board for the second stack or something like that, right? And so I can pop off with that one instead, because I know that first one is not going to win me the game, but it's going to put me in a good position. And I don't necessarily need it because I have a bunch of memory gain in the deck regardless, or some nonsense, right? All right, cool. I decided to not use it. Now I should get punished because they ended up having that out and kill it. All right, now I can't do what I need to do that following turn. Now I have to figure out a different play, an action to do what they just did because they were able to have that action to the reaction, or reaction to the action.
Okay, so I like what you said. I like that you you didn't directly, but you kind of acknowledged that the game is broken enough to a point where we have to do this. Because I think that's where the core of the conversation comes in. And
everybody's
I think that leads...
trainings are too fast. Like everyone's issue is like the game's too fast because of trainings and boosts. So like, how do we slow it down because of that?
Right. Like we've been saying that since we started getting trainings and boosts in BT14. Like, why did everyone hate Mirage? Because Mirage players would Evo in the back, play boost training, and then win the next turn. Like, and now the problem is it's true. And now it's like, okay, cool. I'm playing against Millenniumon. He's got Insane Synthetic and Wicked God Emerges. What do? I just lose. I have no answer to these cards.
Like, I don't even need to be. I could just go like this, shake my hand, because now I win next turn because I have it. Like if he had a 3 cost option that goes, all right, cool, let me pop your Insane, so you don't have a 5 drop melee, and then you gain 5 memory back, and then it becomes free. All right, cool. He got a chance now because he was able to do it and stop my plays.
Yeah.
Instead of Crimson Blaze, we got Adamantium Blaze. Your opponent may not crack delay options during the next turn.
That's valid. That could be something then, like a floodgate to the option as well. If we have a floodgate to Digimons, we should be able to have a floodgate to options as well, like that.
Right?
So like, yeah, my only issue with your solution, Dan, is I don't like the solution to a solution being, let's just play more into the broken problem, right?
It limits deck building is the big problem.
It does, because I feel like if you do that, your 6 to 9 option card floor that I was talking about either changes so that it includes 3 to 4 MST, or it goes up so that now you're including 9 to 12 options because you have to include 3 mandatory MST. And you're not making the game better by doing that. Like, you are fixing a problem, so to say, but you've now created another one where there is less deck variance, like even less than we already have, but we're already running some of the same core cards. Not every deck has a searcher. Most decks do, not every deck does. But one of your mandatory includes, if you have it, is a searcher. That's okay, right? It's a play starter. Every archetype should have one. In the same vein that, like, everybody should have some kind of consistency card. But with everybody having a consistency card, I don't know, it just makes it tough in terms of being able to just everybody runs MST. I don't know. I don't have a solution. I will say that. I don't have a solution. I just don't necessarily like generic MST as a solution.
I don't think that's necessarily a guaranteed auto include. Like, there's going to be some decks that's just going to be like, I don't care about that, and I'm just going to run my deck and call it a day. Like, Styrako is not going to give an F. Styraco's not going to give an F.
Can I ask you a question?
MST in their own deck.
A deck that punches is not going to care. Like,
yeah,
but those are decks that are also those are decks that are also more likely to get hit on a ban list because of the potency of that power, right? But Dan, let me ask you a question.
But remember, we're kind of avoiding the ban list. Who cares about the ban list? Styrako dodged the ban list. I don't think it's going to get hit at this point because things kind of surpass the brokenness of Styrako. So that's neither here nor there.
But I feel like you can temper Styrako, like if you're playing MST,
but that's besides the point.
Sure, but I feel like if you play an MST and like you hit one of their trainings or something, like you, then they're required to like build in the back. I feel like Styrako. All right, I haven't played enough, so obviously I'm not speaking to like a meta competitive level. But you and Lewis, let me ask you this question: would you ever build a Yu-Gi-Oh deck without a hand trap?
No.
In today's world, it's hard to say no when we play that. But there are decks.
That's my point.
Wait. But there are decks that's in the game that have done it in current environments.
How, like, okay, so in the grand scheme of Yu-Gi-Oh, okay, that's my point. I think it being rare is fine. I don't think it's going to be rare in Digimon. I think the decks that don't include this MST are the outlier decks. That's my thing. If you are Angel Loop, for example, yeah, obviously you don't give a fuck because you're already busted. What do you care about this option getting hit? That's extra. That's just bonus for you, right? I don't think it's. I think it's an auto include. That's my opinion. Something like that. There's no way I'm building my deck, and I'm not putting 3 MST in.
But then
no matter what I'm playing.
But at the same time, you got to think about it like this. Now your consistency of seeing those good cards, because remember, if they have nothing on board, like it's a dead card in your hand, you got to also understand that too. Sure, you have 3 to 4. What if you go open hand? All right, I got a rookie. I got 2 MSTs. I don't have a 4. I don't have a boost, and I have a 6. What are those cards doing for you?
It's the same issue as running a scramble or running 2 scrambles, and you don't have that same pieces. You know, obviously that's why scrambles are only run at 1 to 2, but scrambles don't interact with your opponent. MST says, oh, hey, I had the rookie and I could digivolve and I couldn't do anything else, but I know for sure I can fuck this option up on my opponent's next turn.
Eventually, potentially, but let's say if you just don't draw what you need it again, you're still just stuck with these cards in your hand. So it's also a counterbalance on your deck building as well. In that sense,
I don't think the variance is.
That's why
I don't think the variance is that much. That's the problem.
That's why people don't run like
just personally speaking.
That's why people don't run kill options anymore. Like especially from early now, dual cards added at being able to have the dual card ability, but like Bullstar is the only real exception, and then like Volcanus is the exception now, right? They're the only ones that run kill options on a consistent basis. Like kill options died out. And it's the same concept that because they were afraid those kill options are going to ruin their consistency of their deck. Like Styraka runs 6 trainings now. You know what I'm saying? Like they will run their 4 trainings and then they're going to run the red green one. And then when that red yellow one drops, they're going to run that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to care about it.
Yeah, but like I said, like Styraco's like an outlier deck. So it doesn't, sure, you're not going to give.
Probably not going to run it. Bullstar's not going to run it.
That's because BLStar's just going to trash your security. And
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But we're talking about outlier. So we're talking about outlier decks. Give me something that's not so fucking busted.
But here's the issue. Here's your issue, Varni. You don't play consistently. Everything is busted in that sense.
I got you. So, I got you.
The chances.
I got you. We're at the 1 hour and 55 minute mark. Audience, if you've made it this far, you can let us know down in the comments by giving us your very thoughts on this issue. We'll stop this here. And the reason we'll stop it here is because it's a good topic to pick up again when there is more from the community. Let us know down in the comments whether you think a generic Mystical Space Typhoon, if you don't know what MST means, a generic Mystical Space Typhoon, what it does, let's say it costs 3 or 4, and it just deletes or removes whatever the word is for removing an option from the trash. There we go. Yeah, trash. Trashes an opponent's delay option from the battle area. That for a 3 to 4 cost, tell me how much of it would you run? Tell me if you would run it at all. Tell me, do you think that there are more decks that wouldn't run this card than I'm saying would? Do you think the variance of your deck is affected by running these cards compared to the value of running these cards? Tell me in the comments down below. We want to hear your thoughts because obviously this is a divisive topic and this is perfect podcast fodder. And you know me, I'm a content creator. So we got a topic for another week, boys.
Yeah.
And that one is going to be clickbait as fuck. It's going to be, and I'm telling you right now, I already got the title in my mind. We need Mystical Space Typhoons in the Digimon Card Game. And I'm going to put MST on the front of that. That's going to reach all the Yu-Gi-Oh players, just like our 2.4 thousand podcast view on the one that I made with Magna X as an XYZ Yu-Gi-Oh card. I can see it now.
This guy.
Let it be known that I selected the topic for today's video. Let it be known.
To an extent.
It's a good topic, though.
We added to it.
It is a good topic, though. I mean, obviously, everybody, like Dan said earlier, like everybody's got their gripes with the card game. A lot of people feel it's too fast. And then there are some people like Lance who think it's perfectly fine. And I specifically said Lance because, well, it's Lance.
Let me mention one more thing, like that's not fixing anything. Just the way the card game is fast. How many of y'all, I know all you have, watch a Digimon movie? Just a Digimon movie in general, not just the Digimon movie, any of them. Yeah. How long
I've seen
is the final fight?
Yep.
Yeah, I know, so have I. How long is the final fight?
Omnimon comes out, he swings his sword, the movie is over.
There you
we
go.
forgot about the one with Imperial Dramon. Imperial Dramon with the Omni sword.
Lasted 2 seconds. Yeah, that lasted a whole 60 seconds. I've seen it just recently. It's 60 seconds.
I am Paladin. Bro.
Okay.
Think about this.
Omnimon swings his sword.
This.
We got some ska playing. The credits start rolling. Everything is wonderful.
My point is that I think that the idea was for them to also speed it up because, again, movie-wise, their final battles are always fast. So they want to speed up the card game to match that speed, too, that people like, too.
I think that's fine. I just think there are better ways to speed it up and make it interactive and enjoyable for both players and not make it so
add hand traps.
one side. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Just shut up. Where did you guys get this guy from? Why is he your podcast host?
Well, first off, he was one of yours first. So
yeah, technically, I was his first.
Yeah, you were his first. Yeah.
Listen, I ain't had him say no wild shit like this when I was host. This is a different
you saying it. That's why.
I definitely have said hand traps before at MSTs. Definitely have.
No, the MSTs are fine. Like I said, I don't hate the idea. There are some people who will inevitably come in these comments and say the game is broken. And you have to agree with them because of the sole fact that requiring a white generic option, or what, it doesn't have to be white, but obviously it's going to be white. Generic, you can ignore color requirements, destroy an option. If that's going to be required so that every deck can play it, well then there's a problem with the game. In the same vein that I never advocated for, I think up until the very, very end, I always hated generic floodgates. I never liked the idea of every deck being able to play floodgates. I liked that each color had its own identity for a floodgate, which is why I like the idea of certain decks countering floodgates. To your point, Dan, I would be okay. I would like if a deck like Justimon was the deck for popping options, but Bandai doesn't have enough velocity to make a deck like that good. And to put it in perspective, I'll use Grand Archive as my example. We have a card called Clarent Reimagined. I know, God, who would have known? We have a card called Clarent Reimagined. It's a sword. It's only used in one deck, but this one deck has always been really good because of this card, and it's a Proxia. It's called a Proxia's Vault card. That means that the company released it. You can print it out and use it until they decide to release it officially. The reason they did it this way is so that they can change effects without worrying about reprinting a version. So when the card initially came out, it said you can remove a durability counter from it, and then anytime you would take non-combat damage, you prevent 2 of it. That shit was so good for so long, and it just got errated to only prevent 1 because we got a card that lets you basically reset its durability counters, basically giving you unlimited amount of that Gino knows.
That's so funny. That prox, whatever you called it, dude. Yeah. So we printed this card. We know it's busted, but we're not sure how busted yet. So we're not going to print it. You could just print it out for yourself. That's
right, exactly.
You guys can tell us how good or bad
you guys break this card. But there are also cards that have come out that are super low powered, and they've adjusted it to be better. Because Gino, that just happened for Tony. Tony's sword. He has one in Proxia's Vault. You used to have to remove a durability counter, rest the card to activate its ability. Now, you don't have to remove the durability counter. You can just rest it, and you get to negate an upkeep. So you can just keep abusing it, which is nice because Tony needed that fucking buff. And
Tony needs all he can get.
Yeah, Tony needs all he can get. And you don't, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the solution, because you can just release a fucking promo and release the promo to the stores, and then cool, we've got the promo to use. But when they say we're going to release a promo, that means that promo's coming out 8 months from now, when the problem is long off the fucking horizon sometimes.
Sure.
So they just don't have the velocity to address the metagame. The fact that they're limited to 2 ban lists a year when they have a competitive scene is fucking asinine. You should be addressing this on a regular basis based on you listening to the community. If the community feels like something's too powerful, you go get with your team and you're like, oh, yeah. All right, we'll ban it and then we'll address it in like 2 months. But they're fucking afraid to do anything. I'm sorry, Bandai rep. You gotta hold this L, man.
And it just sounds like Grand Archive has its own problems. But that's a different podcast. Hosted by different people.
Hosted by
who like
people
Grand
TBD.
Archive.
I think it's still going.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with
Varni will let you know in the comments.
What I can tell you is that today's episode is sponsored by Sleeve.gg, your deck builder for all things Grand Archive, Gundam, Digimon, and Chrono Core TCG. You can also go check out our sister channel over at Mainface TCG, where you can find all of your Gundam card game, Chrono Core TCG, and Grand Archive content. That is hosted by your boy Varni and Mike whenever he decides to hit me up and tell me last minute to edit and get a video out him today for tomorrow or Saturday for Sunday, you know? What am I? I don't know. A monkey.
Unpaid intern.
Varni not working like that for us. He does so much for Mike, but dang.
I know, right? God forbid Mike said something, Varni's snapping finger, I got you. Like, damn.
I ain't said shit. I told him best I can do for you is maybe Tuesday. We gonna see. Anyways, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. So, parting words, Dan.
Look at that. He takes my outro too. Like, who is this
Listen,
guy?
He brought us into the pod. He's got to take us out. That's how it goes.
Right.
I was gonna say, low-key, I was gonna say he's gonna do the outro, but he did it for me anyways. But anyways,
so it was Dan's idea. Everyone knows it was Dan's idea first. Okay,
it was.
Look, he just did it without me saying it. That's all. It was just, you know. But anyways, it's our brains always connected. Even now I'm pod together anymore. Anyways, Digimon's still a great game, even though we have our critiques, and you know a lot of people are having their critiques with the game when it comes to speed. The game is still fantastic. It's actually in a great spot. We have a lot of good turnouts for regionals and everything, and doing all the shenanigans that's going on with the game. And new sets for the future are going to be all fire, as is shown. A little bit we've seen. EX12 is out right now, right? EX12. Hop on that Shambhala set.
No, 13. Oh no, 13 is the Knights, right?
The Royal Knights, yeah. Like, play the game. It's gonna be fun. Enjoy it.
I'll say, I came on. I hit Dan up and I was like, "Yo, I think I've got time to do a podcast today." That was before I knew the topic of today's podcast. So it just so happened to work out that I came on a podcast where I was very opinionated. But that also means, if you read in between the lines, you read the subtitles, Varni came on this podcast to talk about the Digimon card game, and he by no way means that he hates the Digimon card game. I hate Bandai because they make dumb decisions. I know. But no, the game is great. I still love to play it casually. I have a lot of fun when I do play at Manamoka, and if I ever make it down to Gamer's Edge. I look forward to all the new stuff that's coming out, especially 13 and 14. Fuck. There's more money on my pocket, but you know what? For Royal Knights, I hear y'all. I know y'all hate them fucking Royal Knights, but you know what? I fucking love them. I know. Bring them on. Bring your X. Give me my Kentaurus X. We gonna be hyped.
No. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want
Thundermon X, baby. BT27. BT27, Thundermon X. We about to be meta, yo. Mommymon meta, yo. Watch out.
I don't want to do this anymore, Grandpa.
So that's it from me.
I love the game. I hate the game. I'm just stuck here. We're all stuck here, guys.
We're stuck in a simulation.
Yeah.
A Digimon simulation. There are worse timelines we could have been stuck in, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for a different topic for a different day, though.
Different topic for a different day on a different podcast, too.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Thanks for joining us on this episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm going to actually take us out this time. Momentai, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.
Catch y'all in the next one.